Good evening, everybody. So nice to see you all here for this special presentation tonight. I'm Karen Arikian, the Artistic Director at Hamptons Doc Fest, and I'd like to begin with a very warm welcome to the director and producer of Between Goodbyes, the film you're seeing tonight, Jota Mun. Right over here. And also, of course, to Erica Dilday, who is the executive director, among other titles, for American Documentary, who is receiving the Impact Award tonight. So, Between Goodbyes is a touching and illuminating film which tells a story of a mother and daughter and family who struggle to navigate their way towards reconciliation through a world of cultural differences. It's a little bit crazy. The film is part of the 38th season of POV, which is also nominated for an award, I believe, taking place at IDA tonight, I think. Yes, good luck. So I just want to say on a personal level, well, first let me just tell you, this is Jota's first feature film, first feature-length documentary film. She's worked as an editor previously. Excuse me, my mistake. They worked as an editor previously on Who Killed Malcolm X by the Netflix show, and also on editing on Louis Armstrong's Black and Blue, which is produced by Julie Anderson, one of our board members. So it's a nice family. I just want to say that having started my career at WNET, Susan, public television, the recognition of such a vitally unique and transformative documentary organization like American Documentary is very important to me, to all of us here at the festival. It's challenging times, we all know that, and we are proud to show our support with this award. I want to just, before I bring Susan Lacy up to present the award, I just want to thank our sponsors who we couldn't do this film without them. The T. and Charles Adams Foundation, Regina K. Scully, the Artemis Rising Foundation, the Yaffa Foundation, Brown Harris Stevens, and the law firm of Twomey, Lathan, Shea, Kelly, Dubin, and help! Quadraro. Okay, so now it gives me great pleasure to invite Susan Lacy, one of our board members. You all know her as an incredible director and producer, and of course the founder of the series American Masters. She's going to introduce our guest tonight from American Documentary.
All right, thank you very much. Hi. That is a very bright light there. Well, hello, everyone. I am more than delighted to be here tonight honoring American Documentary, as I have a very personal connection to this series. Way back in 1983, I began trying to create a new series on public television, a quite difficult thing to do in a system which only had 8 hours a week of common carriage, meaning the stations had to run it at the same time. Didn't get much support at PBS at the beginning, but after much perseverance and an absolute reluctance to accept the fact that it might not happen, it actually went on the air in 1986, almost 40 years ago. I was there for its first 30 years as its executive producer. Around that time, Mark Weiss came to me asking for advice in getting another new series launched. And I said, oh boy, you have quite a job ahead of you. But we worked together a little bit on coming up with how to convince the system that they needed a series like this. And he, as determined as I, actually got it on the air in 88, 2 years later. Amazingly, both series are still on the air, a testament to committed leadership over many years and the talent of scores of extraordinary filmmakers. POV is now the longest-running showcase on television for independent documentary films. It's amazing the awards it's won. Scores and scores of awards. I can't even believe it. 45 Emmys, 26 Peabodys, the one we all actually really want, and 3 Oscars, and a host of others. And it's worked with some of the best filmmakers in the country. Among them, Michael Moore, Jonathan Demme, Terry Swigoff, Laura Poitras, Errol Morris, Frederick Wiseman, the Maisels brothers, Marlon Riggs, Pam Yates. The list goes on and on, resulting in over 300 films in 37 years. Series has been fortunate to have a number of amazing executives skillfully guiding the series over the years, including Lisa Heller and Simon Colmeri, and since 2021, the incredible Erica Dilday. Surviving that long for any television series is a challenge that few actually realize, and especially challenging for a series that is willing to take risks in presenting diverse and sometimes controversial points of view. As Karen said, this is more important than ever, as the very existence of public television is on the brink, which challenges the very existence of these kinds of films. We are living through a climate where mainstream media is retrenching even more than usual, avoiding the very subjects and issues which the American people need to know about and experience. And that is a very scary prospect. So let's take a look at some of the incredible work of American documentary, POV shorts, and America Reframed.
We communicate to future generations what we are, what we have been, hopefully influencing for the better what we will become. The cost of war is these individuals, and we have to remember them first. And so it's really the people, not the politics, which is what this piece is about. As you read a name or touch a name, the pain will come out.
В Україні це війна професійних нападників проти захисників аматорів. Туди іншої письменників, музикантів, вчителів, художників. Історії, що ми їх розповідаємо через мистецтво, це теж наш спротив.
You're going to have to forge ahead and see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot of women that have come to trucking. A lot of conditions where they were exploiting people like me, homeless, middle-aged women.
This is not a left or right thing, this is the working class issue. And the workers at the bottom are the ones who make these corporations go.
Let's try to unionize, because that's the only way we're going to get them to listen to us.
This is our shot to make things better.
This wasn't an accident that happened. This was part of a complex business plan to sell as much opium in America as possible.
The collateral damage that has been done, not only to your first responders, but to the family members here.
We're looking to establish the Special Sunset Park Innovation District.
Will our city's leaders support this kind of private sector economic development?
We are not going to allow them to come in and make money off of displacing our most vulnerable and our working class.
I'm tired of being underestimated. I want to find my way. I've had big dreams since I was a little kid. I just didn't know how to make them happen. Then I found my community, my mentors. They understood me.
What's going to happen today?
I have to sell the farm here, earn enough to be able to have the loan by myself.
I've lived here all my life today.
It's going to be weird to leave all these memories here, guy.
My mother left me and came to Montreal.
I trekked all the way across the globe to go and find her after she left me.
I don't want to do that to you. I definitely want to be a different kind of parent to you.
I can feel something pulling me towards forming a different relationship to the people that have scared me.
the act of an individual, willing to say something new, something not quite familiar. It is that collection of those singular, personal visions, transformed from within the mind's eye to the public, come to form a definition of who we are, and in a way, why we are.
Wasn't that amazing? And that's just a fraction, it's the tip of the iceberg of the great films that POV has made happen over the last 37 years. So now to the award. So, for continued excellence, beautifully realized curation, courage, boldness, and the determination to continue the fight for a place in the media environment for diverse voices to be heard. I am proud on behalf of Jackie LaFaro and all of us at Doc Fest to present the Impact Award to Erica Dilday and American Documentary. Congratulations, Erica. There you go. I think he wants to take a picture. Oh, you're so tall.
Hold it right there.
Though I promise not to speak too long because the main event is Jota's film, and I can't wait for all of you to see it. I remember the first time I saw it and thought, this has got to be a POV film, and I'm so proud that we were able to do it. But I also wanted to say on behalf of all of us at American Documentary, I'm deeply honored to receive this Impact Award from the Hamptons Doc Fest. This recognition means a great deal because it speaks directly to what has driven our work for almost 40 years, using the power of documentary film to foster dialogue and action and to spark meaningful social change. For nearly 4 decades, we've been dedicated to sharing the stories that matter to America and to the American public, and also, most importantly, elevating voices and perspectives that too often go unheard. Tonight we will screen Between Goodbyes by Jota Mun. Oh, there she is. Sorry, Jota. And her perspective on transracial adoption, the ties that are broken when biological families are separated, and what it's like to find your identity in a world where you feel like an outsider, is a perfect example of the type of stories that we want to tell. I also want to offer a heartfelt thank you to Susan Lacy for her generous opening remarks. And Susan, your groundbreaking work on American Masters set a standard for storytelling that illuminates the complexity of the American experience. And it's especially meaningful to receive this award tonight. I also want to express my gratitude to Jackie LaFaro, the visionary founder and executive director of the Hamptons Doc Fest. Jackie, thank you for not, where is Jackie? Oh, sorry. I can't see beyond that light. Thank you not only for championing American Documentary and bringing our work to this festival, but for building a space where nonfiction film is celebrated with such passion and purpose. There aren't a lot of spaces like that these days. And also to Karen Arikian, thank you for thoughtful curation and for creating a home where filmmakers, audiences, and ideas come together in such a vital way like we are tonight. This award also comes at a moment when independent documentary and marginalized voices are increasingly under threat, economically, politically, and culturally. It is more essential than ever that organizations like ours and festivals like this one stand firm in championing those stories. When we protect space for filmmakers to tell the truth of their communities, we strengthen our democracy. Most importantly, thank you to all the filmmakers, partners, and communities who make this work possible. We are honored to help bring these stories into the world, and we're working hard to create and protect the ability of the public to see these films without any financial barriers or government censorship. Please speak to me later if you want to know more about our efforts to expand the reach of public media. Receiving the Impact Award strengthens our commitment to supporting documentaries that challenge, illuminate, and connect us. And I really do want to thank all of you for this extraordinary honor.
I'm so curious what the journey was, what the process was of going from from meeting Mika and the conference to making this film. Just walk us through the whole journey you took to get there.
Okay, I was born in, no, I'm just kidding. I met Mika in 2016. We started filming in 2018, and it took us 7 years to complete. But I think before meeting her, I always wanted to tell stories about my community, and then really hearing her mother's story, I think, was the turning point. It just really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I just had never thought about
on
before.
that last day, and it did. When did you?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you approach her about making this film?
Well, it's funny that actually she joked when we met. I was already on the film journey, working as an editor, and she said, "Oh, we should make something
Thank you
together."
for this. This is quite remarkable.
But she never thought it would be about her.
What is the status of
And then once I realized I really wanted to
biology as an
focus in on original
education,
mothers and their voices,
versus
and her mom
employment
had
afterwards?
just
Because
what I
I've gone
heard
on
from
some of
her.
these
It was such an
ships,
amazing
and
journey.
When you talk to the PhD,
And then I just asked Mika, and
postdoc
instantly she was like, "Oh yeah,
biologists, a lot
sure."
of them say it's one grant.
But at that point, we were just going to
and
shoot for
then
2 days
you're
to
back
make a
home
short work
struggling
sample.
to find another grant.
And then
So
from there,
I
going to a
was just
short
curious,
film.
you've
and
become
then,
very
we
successful.
started getting some more industry
You must have a lot
momentum.
of very jealous peers because
And
to
in addition to being
get to this
selected by
status,
POV, we
it
got
seems
into the
very
Firelight
unique
Lab,
and
that really gave me the
minuscule from
confidence
what
to
I've
say I'm
heard
going to
about,
expand it to a feature.
actual employment.
Was it difficult
as
to
a
convince the family
biologist,
to
as
go
a
along
marine
with this?
biologist.
Well, I
Surprisingly,
think that
no.
it's not going to be minuscule
because
by
their
any means,
participation was
because,
100% in the name
monitoring
of
the health
Mika.
of the planet is going to be
All she had to do was ask them,
determinant
and they
of
said
our
anything.
survival on the planet.
So I think some
we
of the
are an ocean
rawness
planet.
that you see in the
there's no
film
question
is
that
because
we're
they're
gonna
really
need these
talking to
people.
each other through the film.
Right now, with
Because from the beginning, I
cutbacks on
offered
NOAA
to
funding
translate
and funding
everything
in general,
and share the
it's grim.
transcripts with
There's
both
no question
sides.
that it's grim. But
because
the
the language
drivers are there,
barriers, as you all saw, is
you
such a
have,
huge piece for them.
Wealthy people like Ray Dalio.
So it also felt like a
coming
moment for
along
them to
and creating
be heard
Ocean
out
X
and tell their full
making
story with
he made the
nuance,
ship and submersibles
and know that it was going to
available
be
us.
professionally translated. And
I mean, we had 2
given
subs.
to the
That's
other
why
party.
they were able to get that How large astonishing was your footage. crew? I'm just curious So about that. There is hope.
Very small.
We're out of
it was
time,
me. I stayed very loyal to the
unfortunately.
DP.
I
G-Man.
just
She shot
want
everything over all
to add a
7
little
years,
frosting
except
on
for one
that
one
answer.
day when she was
There are
sick.
actually thousands of people who work as
Sorry, what was
marine
the question
biologists or
again? Just-
oceanographers.
Oh,
They're
how big was the crew?
professors
Right.
of
It was really just
marine biology,
her and a sound
oceanography, atmospheric
And Erica, when
chemistry
did you
that
guys come
has
on
to do
board
with
with this?
the oceans and currents and things like that.
Immediately on
So it's
seeing
less minuscule
an early
than
short
you
version
think,
of it.
and
I
it's
mean,
less
one of
like being a jazz
sometimes
musician than
you know
you
we
described.
see hundreds of films.
I know
a year.
something
I mean,
about both.
Probably within our team, we
But
see over 1,000.
what is
films a
happening
year,
now with
and,
these catastrophic
when
cuts
I
has
saw
put
this film and
some of our colleagues out
our
of work.
head of
They've-
programming
I
and
just was
production will sometimes send something
I'm at
over
the
and just
Marine
say,
Department at Stony
take
Brook.
a look at this. I'm
and,
just curious what you think.
Somebody
And
came to visit who I
within,
haven't
like,
seen in a few
15
years
minutes of
just
seeing
today.
this film, I was like, oh my
and
God, we've
she
gotta
had lost
have
her job
this.
just a couple of
And
months ago.
not
Just like
only
that.
was
just
it
one day. Just like that.
the artistry
So,
that Jota approached
and
the whole
you know,
thing
this
with,
this
but
country has a huge
the
footprint in science
honesty
around
that
the
you
world.
could see, and
so it's
honestly,
not just
it
confined
was
here.
you
what's
could
happening.
feel,
And
like you said, that
hopefully
raw emotion
that
with the
will
family and just
change,
this
hopefully. But
desire
it's
for
easier
all
to
of
destroy
them to
things than
connect
it
in
is to
some
build
way.
them.
And
I'm
you could
sorry
tell
that we're
this
out of
film
time.
was
I thank
part
you
of
all
the
very
way
much for
of
coming.
doing it
Thank
for-
you, Edie, for
and
your
that
entire life and all your work and bringing us to our home
that
planet.
feeling that they are fully invested in the process of telling this story through the film is what's so important to POV.
Well, I mean, it's extraordinary the trust that they had in you to be able to almost forget you were there in a way. You know, I mean, that's what makes. I mean, you actually don't even feel. You feel like you're a part of it, like you're in the room with them. And how did that? I mean, was it ever at any point difficult, or would they ever say there's something they didn't want you to film?
Well, I think it helped a lot that I met them essentially as their daughter's friend. And I always felt an affection towards them like a family friend. So I think that guided a lot of the decisions. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought again. I'm a little nervous. Sorry, can you just ask the question one more time? How did I get them? Right, okay. They just implicitly trusted her, by extension, trusted me. The one time that we had a bit of a tiff was because she was being interviewed about being queer, and they were worried that the movie was going to out her and it was going to affect her life. So then we just had to explain that, shockingly, everyone already knows she's gay. And they're like, what? You're not going to get fired? Or like, and she's like, they're okay with it, So, but that was really beautiful. It was just their protective energy towards her and me as the filmmaker. So, yeah.
So, international adoption is really a bit of a fraught subject. I guess there are two sides. There are people who feel it's kind of cultural appropriation, and then there are others who feel that this is completely selfless act on the part of the people who are adopting, who are the adoptive parents. You didn't this is a no judgment film in any way whatsoever, but was there ever a moment you thought about dealing with that?
Yeah, I really tried to keep the film apolitical. I wanted it to be an emotionally drawing you in story and hopefully inspiring your curiosity that you might want to look things up later and make your own decisions. I have my own personal views, and I think maybe the archival montages are the most that I got more explicit with where I land on the issue. But it's interesting how you frame the question too, just it being about a cultural appropriation or not, because, there's so many types of adoption. And I think sometimes international adoption gets highlighted as being special. But for domestic adoptees of the same race, all of the same feelings are coming up. And I ask each of the audience members, if you think about your mother or your children, would you ever trade them for someone else that was the same age? Even if they were the same race or from the same town, it would still be a loss, and it would still be unmistakably not your mother or not your kid. It's someone else's. So, but all that to say, I'm not saying that's a judgment on the morality. I just think the issue or the question at the heart of it is far beyond cultural appropriation.
Yeah. I agree with that. You had the same experience. You are also an adoptee.
Correct.
Did your own personal story influence the way you made this film? Did it help? Did it hinder? And how did you choose not to bring your own story into this?
Yeah. I very reluctantly show up on screen at all. Every single line that I say, my editor had to fight me tooth and nail to say that it was necessary. I really wanted it to be about her. And of course, I think my life experience affects my authorship. But I think I also wanted to offer myself that protection of just keeping my own personal story out of it and really highlighting them. Because there's certainly a lot going on with them. So, yeah.
This is your first foray as a feature director. You've been an editor for a while, which is actually kind of a journey to directing, I think, in a certain way.
Yes.
But I have to praise you on this. That you've handled this so gently and without judgment, and you invite us into this complex world. It's totally honest. It's totally nuanced. And you're dealing with guilt and loss and forgiveness, and it's balanced with joy and tenderness and love. It's really a beautiful, beautiful film, and I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you very much.
I think there have probably been a lot of films about adoption, but very few of them actually that I know of, and of course not seen them all, tell the story of the Korean family's side of it. And that's quite unusual, and I think that's how have been people respond. How did the family respond to this?
Oh, yeah. It was really wonderful to watch it all together at the premiere. Everyone had seen it. I made sure that they all signed off on it before we locked, but to see it in person at the same time, to be sitting next to them and just, they all cried through the whole thing. It was so emotional.
They cry a lot.
For all of us. Yeah.
They cry a lot.
Definitely, yeah. I I just lost my train of thought again.
I think that I don't want to mispronounce her name, so I'm just going to say the mom.
Oh, sure.
Is such a character, and I mean, I found her delightful, a little overbearing sometimes, but you feel this incredible need and desire of hers to baby this child she never got to baby, and there's it's the dynamic there. You've captured it incredibly beautifully, and I can't even believe some of those scenes. I really can't. Were you ever overwhelmed yourself in witnessing this?
Yes, very. The rooftop scene was very spontaneous. Did not really expect that. And definitely when Ruth and O'Kuhn were talking and just being so raw with each other, that was beyond unexpected and special. Yeah. And I think I always wanted to focus on the birth parents or the original parents, like you're saying, because they're so often left out. We've certainly heard from adoptive parents and from adoptees as well, but they're really the missing piece that we don't get to hear from.
So I imagine there are a lot of documentary filmmakers here who want to know just some of the nuts and bolts of how do you manage in a tough environment to film over 7 years. I mean, I'm sure that POV had a huge amount to do with that and helping that happen, but how did it work?
Yeah, I'm coming from an editing background. The whole film was shot in less than 20 days, spread out over 5.5 years. So I didn't realize that's what it was going to be, but it sounds pretty crazy if I gave that assignment to myself. But part of it was just editing after every single shoot to know exactly what we had and what I wanted. And then the other piece was the relationship building never stopped. So I sort of took more of an old school approach that I just wanted all of the shooting to be extremely intentional. I basically pretended it was film and that it's precious and we can't just turn it on and sort through it later. And I think maybe being an editor, often receiving projects that were shot like that, and they said, man, I hope we can fix this in post.
Yeah.
My approach to production was very targeted of, I want every B-roll shot to have, that this could actually be used for something, not just,
Sure, absolutely.
following people. But
I mean, you can tell that. Oh. You can actually tell that. So you must have had communication all along about, okay, I'm now going to go back to Seoul. Yes. We're now going to have a wedding ceremony. And how were you able to respond so quickly to that?
Sure. So basically there were really 3 main shoots. The first one was in Seoul, was just 2 days. And it was a lot of the main sit-down interviews that are in the final piece. Because from the beginning, I wanted to be very economical, that whatever's used in the work sample would actually be shot well enough to be in the final piece. And then some B-roll that in the sort of art type abstract scene that you see. And then some others that didn't make it into the film. And then one shoot in the Netherlands for 4 days. And then we went back to Seoul in 2021. And my mission there was, I have 10 shoot days to get all of the verite scenes.
Just been told we have 1 minute left.
Yes.
Does anybody have anything you'd like to ask? Anybody have a question?
Have the parents gone to the Netherlands?
Yes, I'm happy.
Where did they stay?
Yes, I'm happy to report the Netherlands trip happened. They stayed in a hotel, and there was only 1 or 2 arguments about potentially staying elsewhere.
And everybody's still intact?
Everyone's still in touch.
All the relationships are still good?
Well, I should say that, yeah. I was going to say Mika got remarried, but the family is all still together.
What happened? I didn't miss that part.
Oh, yeah, Mika, sorry. Mika got divorced and got a new partner.
No.
I know. So that's why I stuttered, but the family is still in touch.
I ask that. Maybe the process of making this film and this invitation, it was a little too much.
I know. No, that wasn't even it, but I'm sorry to let everyone down. I was so upset too.
Erica, you're sitting here, and I'd love to hear more from you, but I don't think we have a lot of time. Is there anything you'd like to say now?
The only thing I would say is that this is such a POV film for us. I mean, the way Jota really embedded with this family, the trust they had, and their ability to become part of the fabric of this family and this experience is what we look for at POV. And they just did an amazing job with it. And I'm just so proud and impressed with the work that
Congratulations
you've
again
done.
to both of you.
Thank you.
So I have one question for you, if you don't mind. Are you worried about the future of POV?
Absolutely. Without question. But, you know, we're going to fight like hell to make sure that POV continues and that we are also able not just to continue, but to show the types of films that we believe should be out there, not the ones that we're not going to self-censor. We're not going to be afraid to show the types of films that people should see.
Bravo, bravo. How much of, sorry, as an old PBS person, right, how much of your budget were you relying on from from NPS, I mean from the National Program Service?
40%, and we lost it.
So you have to make up 40%.
Yeah.
What can we do to help? Yeah.
Donate. Where? And also let PBS know that independent film like the type you see on POV on Independent Lens is actually important to audiences. Oh, so one of the things that also we are doing is we are taking over what used to be World Channel strands. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with America Reframed or Doc World or Local USA, but those were strands on World YouTube. They were canceled as part of this cutback. We've picked those up, and we're also going to be showing films that can't be seen on POV anymore on the World YouTube channel. We're going to announce this this is sort of a preview in the beginning of next year, because we still believe that films that are about marginalized communities, films that are about points of view that don't necessarily align with the current administration, have validity and should be shared democratically. So stay tuned for that.
Bravo.
And sorry, really quickly, just to plug that the film is premiering on Monday. Yes, this next Monday, December 8th. And as part of that, it'll be streaming on YouTube for 3 months. So please, if you enjoyed the film, share it with, share the link around, let people know, check out the website. You can sign up for our mailing, newsletter, Instagram. I'm going to release some deleted scenes and updates. There's postcards as you're leaving with all this info on it. And yeah, thank you for coming.